Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. So my name is John Matthew C. Acosta before I reverted to Islam, and now I go by the name Yusuf Abdul Aziz. I am from the Philippines, and my journey to Islam is kind of unique, if I might say, because I took my Shahada twice. So first was when I was still young, about maybe 12 years old, when I was in the 5th grade. So my father reverted to Islam, and then he gathered our family and told us that we have to revert to Islam as well. So basically, that's the first time that I took my Shahada, but at a very young age, I don't have any information about Islam. I don't know what I'm getting into. So basically, I grew up as a non-practicing Muslim. I never had any day of my life since then that I've prayed 5 times a day. I, there are a lot of things that haram that I did back then for about 16 to 17 years. But Alhamdulillah, Allah did not allow me to die without, going back to the straight path. And my journey to my second Shahada when I came here in Bahrain, it's something very unique because it really shows the qadar of Allah, because I never even imagined going here to work. I am a teacher by profession, so maybe 6 or 7 months ago, there's a job that I really want to get into, but I was never able to get. And that's the time that I thought maybe it's time for me to work overseas, to provide better for my family. And I never thought about going to Bahrain. Then one of my colleagues, he told me that he applied for a job here in Bahrain, Philippine School Bahrain. And he told me that there's only one vacancy. And he's already done with the interview, and he told me that he felt like he's already accepted. So I thought that maybe I don't have a chance anymore, but I still tried to submit my application, and Alhamdulillah, they opened another slot for a new teacher. So in short, I was able to pass, and I came here in Bahrain. And still for about a month or two, I don't even care when I hear the adhan. My flat is very near masjids. There are 2 masjids near my flat, but I never really cared because I have never practiced Islam. So it's like I just became a Muslim by name. And one time I remembered that my father used to tell me that he really wanted to go to Makkah to perform Umrah and Hajj. And I thought to myself, maybe since I am here, this is the time for me to be the one to do what he wanted. And I made it my intention to make sure that I'll be able to perform Umrah or Hajj before my contract ends. And it starts there. It's really amazing for me because when I made that intention, just a few days after, I passed by a table dawa by Filipino Muslim communities, and then my colleagues told me, look, they have books about Islam, maybe you want to read. And I thought myself, yeah, maybe I'll try. So I picked some books, and then they told me, do you know about Islam? And then I said, I'm actually already a revert. I reverted back in the Philippines a lot of years ago. And then they asked me if I already have a Shahada certificate. I said I don't have one yet. So they told me, okay, we can process it for you. You just take your shahada here again, and we'll do it for you. So I did, and then I after that I I thought to myself, maybe this organization also has packages for Umrah. Maybe it's a bit cheaper than what I have anticipated for. So I tried to contact them and ask if there's an available package for Umrah. It's actually Islamic awareness, and then they said after a couple of days they said, yeah, sure, we have actually an upcoming Umrah for new Muslims free of charge. So I say, wow, this is really amazing. I think Allah is really pointing me back to the Deen. So I said to myself, okay, maybe it's time for me to, learn more about Islam, maybe practice it. So I went to Umrah, Alhamdulillah, last December. And after Umrah, I met the Filipino brothers from Discover Islam. And that is where my deen, my iman really grew, because there are a lot of Muslim brothers who who helps a lot new Muslims to gain knowledge, to give programs that will help us elevate our iman. And I met Brother Imran and a lot of good friends. We have Brother Jamil, who was actually supposed to be the one to be interviewed today. So a lot of great Filipino friends, Brother Ahmad. So they were the ones whom I I cherish the most, Brother Muhammad Islam, because they became my teachers here. So Alhamdulillah, my iman is steadily, growing strong, and hopefully, inshallah, I can still continue it, and Alhamdulillah, now I'm praying 5 times a day. I do sunnah prayers as much as possible, and I just keep on trying to learn more knowledge about Islam. And I inshallah, because my family back in the Philippines, um, among our family, we are actually not practicing. So as of now, my siblings, they are not that practicing as well. So it it, it really breaks my heart, because now that I know how important it is to practice Islam as it should be, not to be just a Muslim by name. It really breaks my heart, and I'm just keep on making dua that inshallah, the same way that it happened to me, that Allah never left me astray. For 16 long years, I've never practiced Islam, but still I'm here. So Alhamdulillah, and inshallah, I hope that the same thing will happen to my family back in the Philippines. I hope that they can practice Islam as well. It's really hard to practice Islam in a non-Islamic country, especially in our place. There's no masjid, there's no Muslim community around our place, so I understand why it's very hard for them. But inshallah, everything will go into the right place. Yes, so for me, the turning point for me to go back and study Islam is really just the small details that led me to find the Filipino Muslim community here, to go for Umrah. Because if you're going to think about it, it's the qadar of Allah. Like I just intended, I think it's in the hadith that niyyah is very important. So I just intended to go for umrah for the sake to fulfill my father's wish to perform umrah. But since he doesn't have the capacity to do that himself, so I intended to do that. And from there, everything just falls into the right place. Going to the market, seeing the Filipino Muslim community doing table dawah, meeting a lot of the Filipino brothers in Discover Islam, having the right people around you is very important. Alhamdulillah, it's really amazing here because in Discover Islam, they really have a good program to new Muslims to help them learn more about about Islam, about our Deen, and that makes you stronger because a lot of programs that they do would really make you feel what Islam really is. The brotherhood, they're always there for you. You can always count on them. If you have question about things that you are not sure of, they're just, one message away, one call away, they will help you. And, that's the turning point for me, being around, practicing Muslims as well, seeing them doing their best to please Allah Azza wa Jal. So it's inspiring, to see them, and it makes you want to do the same thing, and also the biggest turning point for me is realizing the things that I did in the past. You know, when when I try to think about it, I get really emotional because what if I died without going back to Islam? What would happen to me? As I have mentioned earlier, I joined the fraternity in the Philippines and I almost died twice. And if I died right there and then, I'm sure that I will go to Jahannam. I'm just happy that Allah has provided me to be able to come back to Islam, to be able to still have the time for me to fix my mistakes. I never thought about going to Bahrain. It was never in my plan. When I thought about going overseas to work, just so happened that, it's maybe the way of Allah as well to guide me. One of my colleagues saying that, hey, I'm currently applying in Bahrain. There's a Philippine school here, and the what amazing about it is there was supposed to be one slot in that school, one slot, and it was taken by my colleague, and I just took a leap of faith to apply, even though I know that there's no more slot, because actually the post about job posting was taken down after his interview. I just thought to myself, if it is what's in my destiny, then I will get to it. So I submitted, and here I am now, alhamdulillah. Everything is going fine with me, both in career and especially in my religion. That's the most important for me, going back to Islam. Alhamdulillah, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. Although I grew up as a Muslim, as living in a non-Islamic country, you hear a lot of bad things about, about Islam, about Muslims, about Islamic countries, Sharia, and things like that. Especially what the media has been is being what the media has been portraying to the masses. So I have this thought that, maybe it's hard to live in an Islamic country. Maybe it's so strict there. But when I came here, I'm really surprised, when everyone is so peaceful. Everyone is so peaceful. Alhamdulillah. I, I, I tasted the sweetness of brotherhood, the sweetness of Islam here whenever it's Jum'ah, going with my Filipino brothers, giving salam to the Muslims in the mosque, even, you are different nationality, alhamdulillah. There's no nationality, no color of the skin in Islam. In Bahrain, everyone is welcome, everyone is brother to one another. So it's really beautiful, everyone is friendly. I remember the first few weeks that I've been here, going to the store, and when you buy, for example, they won't even look at I usually pay through benefit pay. I don't use cash, so they won't even look if you really you really sent your payment. They just they trust you that you did. And it just shows how Muslims really are because of Islam. For those who are trying to know what Islam really is, what I want to tell those people is, do not base your knowledge on what you hear in media, in television, in news articles, because you will not find true Islam there. You have to go to the correct people with the real knowledge of Islam. And Discover Islam is one of those organizations here in Bahrain that you can go to. Their office is always open to anyone who wants to know about Islam. The Muslim brothers and sisters there are very nice, very accommodating, and they will show you what this Islam really is. I highly suggest everyone to at least try for yourselves to really seek knowledge about Islam, and you will see how beautiful Islam is. It is a complete way of life, complete obedience to one God, Allah Azza wa Jal. And inshallah, if you with open hearts, open minds, you read the Quran, you ask knowledgeable people, scholars of Islam, inshallah, you will embrace Islam as well.